Historically, Uganda was home to centralized kingdoms and chieftainships governed through institutionalized councils. In Buganda, the Luchiko served as the legislative assembly, while Bunyoro and Toro relied on the Orukurato. Other communities were guided by councils of elders. Leadership under these systems was based on prescribed qualifications and legitimacy, showing that the concept of accountable leadership predated colonial rule. However, elections later became the primary mechanism through which citizens expressed consent to be governed. The modern history of elections in Uganda began during the late colonial period. In 1957, the British colonial administration enacted the Legislative Council Elections Ordinance. This paved the way for Uganda's first direct elections, held in 1958. These elections introduced limited African participation in the Legislative Council known as Legico and marked Uganda's first formal step toward electoral politics. That same year, a constitutional conference was convened to discuss preparations for independence. Governor Sir Andrew Cohen appointed J.V. Wild to chair a committee tasked with designing the electoral framework for future elections, including the 1961 polls that would lead to self-government. In March 1961, Uganda held its first nationwide direct elections. Two political parties contested, the Democratic Party and the Uganda People's Congress. Buganda Kingdom boycotted the elections, demanding that its representatives be elected by the Luchiko instead of through universal suffrage. Despite the boycott, the Democratic Party won 43 seats, while the Uganda People's Congress secured 37. The then DP leader Benedict Chiwanuka became Uganda's first chief minister, ushering in an internal self-government. However, concerns over representation led to fresh elections in 1962. Buganda was allowed to conduct indirect elections, with the Luchiko nominating 21 representatives aligned to the Kabaka party. In the April 1962 National Assembly elections, the Uganda People's Congress won 37 seats, while the Democratic Party won 24. UPC formed an alliance with Kabaka, enabling Milton Obote to become Uganda's first prime minister at independence.
The Union Jack is formally lowered.
2 years later, Uganda held its first national referendum. In 1964, voters in the counties of Buyaga and Bugangaizi were asked to decide whether the territories should remain part of Buganda or return to the Bunyoro Kingdom. The electorate overwhelmingly voted in favor of rejoining Bunyoro. Although the 1962 constitution had provided for holding elections after every 5 years, this did not happen. Post-independence elections scheduled for 1967 were not held because of the effects of the political crisis of 1966, which saw the abolition of kingdoms in Uganda and establishment of a republic. The anticipated elections of 1971 were cancelled by Idi Amin when he took power through a military coup and abolished the constitution. From 1971 until 1979, Uganda was ruled by decree.
I am very tough, yes. And I will never give up. If I wanted to do something, I will never change my mind.
Joram Paul Sonko, NTV Tonight.